Greetings all, and welcome to Daily Pali Reading. Today we continue our exploration of the Dhammapada as we wade into the third vagga, the third chapter, if I can get it to come out here, which is on cittaṃ, on the mind. Now, one thing to say up front, when I say mind, that's really a shorthand. It's not just here. It also includes the heart. Meaning that this isn't just about the thinking part of our mind. This has to do with our emotional states as well. It's very hard to separate those. If you're in a bad mood, is it your mind that's influencing the bad mood? Is it the bad mood influencing the mind? So in English, we tend to separate those, but in Pali, cittaṃ is covering both aspects. Another thing to say, I'll apologize for some sniffling and coughing. I'm actually getting over an illness here, so bear with me, please. Phandanaṃ, capalaṃ, cittaṃ, durakkhaṃ, dunnivārayaṃ, Ujuṃ karoti, medhāvī, usukārova, tejanaṃ. So we have here these two words which are adjectives really describing cittaṃ. Phandanaṃ, throbbing, trembling, waving, and capalaṃ, moving to and fro, trembling, unsteady, fickle. So there's obviously some overlap in the meanings. We might say kind of like, I like the word trembling or wavering, and just maybe fickle, And we can kind of keep the words in this order. Wavering, fickle is, this is a nominal sentence. We have to insert a form of the verb to be, or hoti, is cittaṃ, the mind. By the way, I meant to mention it already. I think if we look this up in Chinese, I think that you'll see that they actually use the character for heart to translate this. I'll see if I'm correct about that and get that up. Durakkhaṃ, dunnivārayaṃ. I hope I said that right the first time. So let's just, by the way, let me adhere to the new Pali policy. So we'll say wavering. We could say trembling. I like fickle, but wavering, trembling is the mind. And I'm going to put a colon here for this next part. Durakkhaṃ. Durakkhaṃ, we might be familiar with this, the verb rakkati, to guard, to protect. And this do is difficult, hard. So hard to guard. And we get that same prefix here, dunnivārayaṃ, hard to keep in check. Now here in our second line, Ujuṃ karoti, medhāvī. Our subject here is medhāvī, a wise person or the wise person. Remember, Pali doesn't have a definite article, so they're not being that specific. We might just say the wise person, and then karoti, come across this verb quite a bit, to do or to make, makes the mind, ujuṃ, straight. Makes it straight. This word, by the way, if you look at, I don't know if I put it here. Yeah, Metta Sutta, the first one. I think we get the word ujuṃ and suhuju, both in that case kind of meaning like upright, morally upright and like straightforward. Here, we're kind of using it. It's still metaphoric, but we're thinking about the mind as being something all knotted up, and the wise person straightens it out, which might be a better way to say that, This is a little literal here, a little literal. Usukārova, tejanaṃ. So this va is alerting us to the presence of these assimiles. So just like, and an usukāro is an arrow maker. So the usu is arrow. Kāro is a form that comes from this verb here. We get the long A, but it just means a maker of, a doer of, in this case, an arrow maker. Just like an arrow maker. I guess I can make that one word. And we've talked about this before in similes where and especially in compact forms, or a compact form like poetry, we don't get the verb repeated. We're going to have to use this verb, and I'm actually kind of taking this as one verbal idea. Just like an arrow maker straightens out or makes straight tejanaṃ, the arrow. Just like an arrow maker straightens out the arrow, his or her arrow, Now, we'll notice here, usu and tejanaṃ in English, we've used the word arrow. Really, I think this is more like the shaft of an arrow, So just keep that in mind. But I think we get the meaning this way. The wise person straightens it out. The wise person makes the mind straight. Just one comment here that, the Buddha gives us kind of this overall observation about the mind, which I think most of us would probably agree to. But then doesn't say to accept this passively. It's just the wise person makes it straight. And I think that is something that we need, of course, to try to do. And something that we'll see in this Vagga is, of course, a mind that is kind of straightened out and guarded and protected, and is kept from just going everywhere. Again, mind and heart, we become happier. We just do. When our mind is just going everywhere, there's a lot of anxiety, etc. So this is just a very sort of practical thing that we need to kind of keep the mind in check.